Alright, we're back, of course, talking some Square Enix. Today was the rumored Nintendo Direct. It was indeed real, got confirmed last night. It stayed until the end of the month. Square Enix was actually a part of the event, and they actually had like several things there. There's like 4 different things there. 2 are old, 2 are new. As for the old, they announced a Nintendo Switch 2 version of Romancing Saga 2 Revenge of the Seven, which is pretty cool, and it's actually available today, which is interesting. They do also show like the standard side-by-side comparison of like Switch 1 versus Switch 2, and like there's definitely a difference. I don't know that it's that much of a difference. Like it's definitely, I guess, technically better on the Switch 2, but like it ain't that much of a damn difference. They did also give us a new trailer for Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles, specifically a story trailer, which is kind of cool. I don't know how much voice acting we've got to hear from some of the previous trailers, but there's quite a bit in this one, which is nice. And you're also able to now pre-order the game digitally for Switch and Switch 2. So again, that's the old stuff. These are projects that we're already aware of that already exist, upcoming, or already out that are now available for, Switch and Switch 2, things like that, or whatever. The other 2 things they revealed at the Direct were actually new projects that, I don't keep up with Square Enix like that, so they're things that I was unaware of. So first off, for one of the new projects, they announced Octopath Traveler 0, a new standalone game in the Octopath Traveler series that's technically a prequel. It takes place sometime before the first Octopath Traveler. What's pretty interesting with this game is that you can customize your own protagonist. I don't know how exciting that may or may not be for you guys that have played the first 2 Octopath Traveler games, but that is kind of interesting. Of course, it looks beautiful, this kind of HD 2D style that we've been seeing from Square Enix for quite a while at this point. The game will also offer a sort of like settlement building thing where you can rebuild your hometown and you get like full control over that in terms of like buildings and decorations and things, which is pretty cool. I don't know if that's something that existed in the previous 2 games. You guys can let me know. I've yet to play them. But that's kind of cool feature, I guess. Also, this will be dropping this year, December 5th, 2025, and it'll be available on pretty much every single platform except for Xbox One. It's on Switch 1 and 2, PlayStation 4 and 5, Series X and S, and then PC via Steam and Microsoft Store. And speaking of Octopath Traveler, we actually have a brand new game from the creators of Octopath Traveler and Bravely Default, The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, which is an HD 2D style action RPG. So a bit of a different style, it would seem, from the other HD 2D games that we see coming out from Square Enix that are usually turn-based, right? So there's a little bit something different here. Visually, of course, the game looks fantastic. Like, this style that Square Enix has been doing for a while looks awesome. I wouldn't say it's getting old just yet, but we're kind of reaching that territory because it feels like they do this pretty often with, Octopath Traveler and some other games and, the Dragon Quest remakes. Now we have this brand new IP coming out from them that is in the same style, and it's like, they're probably like safe, like they're probably pretty easy to make like cheaply in comparison to like modern like AAA games and shit. So I totally understand it, and again, it does look great, but I also just kind of want something different from Square Enix. It's really been kind of the takeaway for a long time at this point from Square Enix, right? We're waiting on the next big game, and while we did get some stuff here, some old, some new, nothing major, right? Like these are exciting for some people. I haven't dove into the Octopath Traveler games yet, so I'm sure there's somebody out there that's really, really excited for the new Octopath Traveler game. Happy for you. And then whatever this new IP is, The Adventures of Elliot, The Millennium Tales, I'm sure some people will love that too. And it doesn't look bad. I'll probably play it at some point down the road. I don't know exactly when. But it's not really what I'm looking for from Square Enix right now. Also, this game will be dropping sometime next year on pretty much just modern platforms. Switch 2, PS5, Series X and S, and then PC. To be clear, we weren't really expecting anything super major from the Direct anyways. We're hopeful that Square Enix was going to be there. We didn't know for sure if they would. And they were there in a pretty big capacity. But it's just not like what I look for from Square Enix, the kind of games that I do play. There's obviously an audience for this shit, and I'm happy for those people. But I'm still just looking for the next like big game, right? The Dragon Quest 12, the Kingdom Hearts 4, obviously 9 remake, 7 remake stuff, whatever. That type of shit. The next NieR game. Give me, the next big game. Like, where's that at? I'm sick of saying it, but like that's where we've been at for the longest time now with Square Enix. But again, at the very least, they did announce a couple new upcoming games. And they're, one's in a popular franchise with Octopath Traveler, one's a brand new IP. Hopefully it does well. I don't want to see a game fail unless it's, Killer N. Any sort of, like, online game for Square Enix doesn't seem to do very well, right? So, like, that game will come and go. Hopefully it didn't cost them too much to make. But at least we're starting to kind of get the ball rolling a bit on some, like, new games, new IPs even. So, like, maybe we're kind of getting there. We're not, again, expecting anything big at this Direct, if they're even going to be there at all. We're hopeful, but you never know. But at least we have like Gamescom coming up, which is one place that we're kind of looking forward to. And then we have like TGS in September, and then obviously the end of the year is the Game Awards. Anything in between there that I'm not aware of, I don't know any like gaming events that Square Enix could potentially be at, but those are the main ones, right? The main one being for a lot of people Tokyo Game Show, but there's also the potential for the Game Awards to have something if we get nothing before then. Kind of at the point now where I don't even have a preference, right? Like we mainly talk about Final Fantasy on the channel. mainly FF7 stuff, a little bit of the 9 remake shit when there is something to talk about, but I will talk about anything. I'm excited to talk about Dragon Quest XII. Let me get some Kingdom Hearts 4 information. I'll talk about the NieR series, even though I've barely played any of those fucking games. Anyways, my dudes, I guess that's the video. Kind of a recap of Nintendo Direct. Square Enix was there. That's kind of cool. A couple new games upcoming. If you're excited, if you're waiting for Romancing Saga 2, for your Switch 2, you can do that now, I guess. That's super exciting. Anyways, that's the video. Subscribe to guys. New social networks in the description below. Follow me on Twitter, dashingdavidbusiness. That's it. Bye.
Used to care what people thought, but now I care more, and nobody out here's got it figured out. So therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending, depending on whether or not it's worth it. So insecure, no one's perfect. We spend it with no shame. We blow that like Coltrane. We in here like Logain, or leave it like Cobain.